my channel. This is Achieve_Doctors channel. If you are watching me on YouTube, if you are watching me on TikTok, this is Achieve_Doctors. Instagram, Achieve_Doctor. My platform is basically to inspire, motivate, and encourage people who feel hopelessness. First and foremost, if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel, comment, and like. If you are watching me on TikTok, it's Achieve_Doctor. So in my last episode, or the first episode, I said about having the email from the army to continue my application, and we got home and had to start with the application. So there were a series of questionnaires that they were asking about security, if I was owing a debt, my address for the past 5 years. I started filling all these details, and it got to a place where they requested for my past medical history. Back in 2019, the application was quite easy, as you know, the responses were quick. So the army then requested that I do get my past medical history. So they sent me a form called the RGMD, and I had to send it over to my GP, or my personal doctor in Ghana. Once we got there, once he got the document, he filled it up and he sent it over DHL. By then, I did not read much about how it was going, and I had to post the medical forms, which delayed the application. I was just meant to, you know, send over through email to them. But unfortunately, what I did was that I sent it through the post. It delayed the application. Remember, I came with a visitor's visa, which I was given only 6 months visa. Remember, yes, when you apply for the visa to come to the UK on the tourist visa, you are given 6 months. If you want, you can then apply for 2 years or 10 years or whatever years you required. So my visa was running out. I had my first assessment date somewhere in November. But remember, I was telling you that my weight, I was weighing somewhere around 120. And on the day of arrival, something that my senior brother did to me is something I would never and ever forget. Upon the long hours of flight, I got to the UK. When we got home, and he said, "Doc, you said you want to sign up for the army. I'm going to help you." He quickly grabbed me and went to a park around Wellingborough, where we started training. And that was when I had my first run in years. I started running on the park, and I could feel my heart burns. I could feel how I was so tired just within the first 2 minutes. So my brother then called a friend, and he said that I need to go around the field 3 times. And on the field, I needed to do the run in less than 10 minutes. That shows that I'm qualified. And even one lap, I couldn't even use 20 minutes to complete a lap. So you could imagine how weak I was then. My brother constantly was on me, always making sure I'm doing the right thing, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing enough exercises, I'm having enough rest, I'm doing all sorts of things that he thinks will help me in, you know, achieving my goals. And I would say big helps to my brother Kofi Owusu, and that's him over there. So as we start training, yes, the main purpose of me coming to the UK was to go on a graduation, and we attended his graduation ceremony, and that's a picture of us in his gown and at University of Northampton. So yeah, that's the uni name. So that's also on the part of when I started training. So I had to train to lose a lot of weight. So I lost so much weight that I got to somewhere around 96. But on my initial assessment, when we went on for our first assessment, I got deferred. My first deferral was due to me going above the BMI, which is the body mass index, of which they base on your height and weight and your waistline to calculate something, and they says here you're above the BMI. And I was slightly above the BMI, Remember, the army requirement is so strict to the point that if you do not meet, if you are just above or below a certain requirement, you are not going to get that enlistment. I was just about 2 kilograms above the BMI. The doctor deferred me. I said, you know what? Just give me a day and I'm going to lose that weight. He said, no. I went back home and it took another month for me to get my second assessment. I got a second assessment and I went for the assessment. And unfortunately, an incident happened. It was in the winter. An incident that I cannot disclose so much because the army did not disclose so much about it. So they had to also cancel the assessment. Remember, I came in July 2019, and my visa was to run out in 15th January. I went for the assessment somewhere in December. The second assessment, my visa was running out. Contacted the CSM. It was very challenging. I went for the assessment. They got cancelled. I had to come back home. I had to quickly, based on that, to reapply for extension of the visitor's visa. This is a case where visitors' visa are not extendable. You cannot extend the visa when you are in the UK unless you go back home. I don't have money to do all these processes. Then everything got stuck. My application was then withdrawn due to my visa being expired. To date, one of the challenges Commonwealth applicants are facing when it comes to the British Army application is the acquisition of visas, especially you arriving in the UK and things or unforeseen circumstances happening which would delay the application, hence will affect the duration of your visa. And it is very challenging that the army does not interfere or support you when it comes to your application. So it is something that if you are interested in joining the army, you should start making arrangements for unforeseen circumstances that will happen during your application. Remember, it is your sole responsibility to acquire enough visa duration to cover the entire duration of your application. Forward, I have to go through so many challenges in getting my visa. I applied for the extension of the visitor's visa, and unfortunately somewhere around the 24th of February I had a decision from the Home Office saying my application was rejected, hence I had only 14 days to leave the country. I called my CSM to inform my CSM, and he said she is then sorry, she needs to cancel my application there and then. My application was withdrawn and it was a sad moment for me. Why? Because I've put all my hopes in joining the British Army. This got me devastated, but yet I never lost hope. I still pursued in getting a visa to continue my application. Fortunately and unfortunately, COVID struck the UK somewhere in 2020. That was when the government then announced that anybody who had arrived in the country within a certain period and is having either a valid visa or his visa had expired within that period is going to get an automatic extension for 3 months. This is a situation where my visa had run out 5 days prior to the said date the government brought out in 2020. I called the coronavirus immigration team by the Home Office that they established, and they said I do not qualify for the extension. I based on the argument that according to the gov.uk, it is stated that if you apply for any extension of the visa or if you apply for any visa, as at when the Home Office will make a decision, you are eligible or legally allowed to live in the country or stay in the country as long as you've not had a decision. That was my basics. I called several lawyers to assist me in that. The lawyers said, yes, it's not going to be possible. I need to go back home. I still pursued with calls to the Home Office, and fortunately, I had an extension of the visitor's visa. That was when it reactivated my application to join the army, and quickly, I had to go for my assessment. Because I did not give up, I was still training, getting my mind ready, getting the body ready. As you can see all these pictures scrolling, I was getting my body and everything ready in case I get opportunity to join. So never give up when you come up with these challenges, because these challenges comes as a way to strengthen you and get you prepared for the next big thing. And that was me. Fortunately, on the 3rd of September, I had my assessment date. So I was to attend my assessment in somewhere Litchfield. And these are pictures of me after I passed my assessment. You see how skinny I was as a then, and the joy you could see from my face. I was so happy. After my bleep test, I quickly went to the toilet, called my mom, broke out the news that I passed, and now I am about to join the army. That is where everything started. So this picture was taken on the 3rd of September 2020. After I passed, because my candidate support manager has realized that the struggles and the difficulties I've gone through, he quickly then called me and said, Owusu, there is an intake going on the 27th of September 2020. That was literally just about 2 weeks after my assessment. Are you willing to go? I'm like, yes, I am. Whatever it takes, I would like to be on that. So on the 27th of September, I went from London Manor House, went all the way to Basingstoke, got a bus, and here I was in Pirbright to start my military training. It was a challenging, and I'm going to speak more about life in Pirbright in my next episode. If you are enjoying this storyline, I'll kindly ask you to subscribe to this channel, comment, and I'm going to bring you the next part of how I joined the army. This is Achieve_Doctor. Follow me for more. TikTok is Achieve_Doctor. Snapchat Achieve_Doctor. Instagram is Achieve_Doctor. Thank you and see you again.